Hello, this is episode 1 of Book of the Mouse Club podcast.
Morning, monsieur.
Where are you off to?
The bookshop. I just finished the most wonderful story about a beanstalk and an ogre and
That's nice. Marie! The baguettes! Hurry up!
I'm sorry, but how can one possibly pay attention to a book with no pictures in it?
My dear child, there are a great many good books in this world without pictures.
I almost bounced clear out of the book. Some bouncing, huh?
Hello. I want my book. Bonjour. Je veux mon livre.
Jane Thaddeus-Turk, Esquire. Have you never met him? You will find his story in this delightful little book, The Wind and the Willows.
I've come to return the book I borrowed.
Finished already?
Oh, I couldn't put it down. Have you got anything new?
Welcome to our inaugural episode of Book of the Mouse Club podcast. This is a new Disney podcast that will explore books about Disney, its history, films, theme parks, culture, and more. I'm joined today by my co-host, Emily.
Hey, Courtney. I'm so happy we're finally doing this.
So we are both really big Disney fans. We'll get into kind of our idea for this podcast in a bit and why we love podcasts. But of course, let's start out with why we love Disney and books. So do you want to go first and tell us just a little bit about who you are, your enthusiasm, your connection to Disney?
Sure. So hi, guys. I'm Emily. I am originally from New Jersey, and now I live in Maryland. I'm a high school government and politics teacher. So I'm really excited that we're starting this in my off time, that we can really dive into reading and recording. I've always been a Disney fan. I kind of grew up with it mostly because of my mom, watching movies, listening to the music in the car, going on vacations every other year as long as I can remember. And I've just always loved reading. So I love this podcast because we're combining two things that I love, Disney and reading. My room is full of books. I cannot wait to get the rest of my books from New Jersey and move them down here. I need more space. But yeah, so I'm super excited. I did my Disney college program in 2015, and that just kind of really exponentially grew my love for Disney beyond the movies and the films, but also the parks and the company and the culture as a whole of Disney. And I attribute some of that actually to you because I followed you from your Disney college program. So thanks, Courtney.
You're welcome. That's true. So I did it in fall 2014 and you were fall 2015. We went to University of Maryland where I was an English major and Emily was a secondary education history major. I got my bachelor's. Emily stayed an extra year to do her master's and then came down for the college program. And where did you work?
I was in entertainment. So some really interesting stories and a really cool insight to some things that you don't realize happen in the company and in the park. So was a really cool experience.
Absolutely. Great. So I'll tell a little bit about myself. So I live in Orlando, Florida, but am originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Emily and I met in college. We worked together as TAs for English 101, so we're book nerds, but really connected over our love of Disney and the films, the parks, all of that, just books in general, so this seemed like a natural fit. But as for me as an individual, I did grow up going to the parks every year. My family joined the Disney Vacation Club in 1994, and I started living and working for Disney in 2014. When I came down to do the college program, I worked at Space Mountain and then transitioned into some backstage roles with the company where I'm currently an analyst. So I will say, we'll get to that full legal disclaimer later, but all views are my own, and this does not represent the Walt Disney Company. Got to plug that in there because, I may work for them, but at heart, huge Disney fan like Emily, and we're just really excited to talk about this. We are both big podcast fans. Emily, what was that little joke we saw?
Oh yeah, so it was great. So we used to joke about starting a podcast because you introduced me to podcasts when I was driving down to Disney for my program. It was a 17-hour drive I'm originally from New Jersey, so I went from New Jersey to Florida. And I was like, I need something to amp me up. And you're like, oh yeah, listen to podcasts. And that's how this whole crazy idea got thrown back and forth. But then you sent me this great little thing on Twitter where you're like, let's make a podcast is the new millennial version of let's start a band. And it's like so true.
We're starting our band. I got into podcasts when I was training for the Walt Disney World Marathon. It's like a 28-week training plan. I was like, oh man, I need something to listen to when I'm running more than 10 miles.
Yeah, you can only listen to so much music.
Yes.
Before it goes too much on repeat.
So really, I found that my interests aligned with my interests throughout my whole life, and that was Disney. I've listened to probably like 5 or 6 different Disney podcasts, tweeted about them, just active on social media. And one of my favorites, Mad Chatters, asked me if I wanted to fill in for a host one time. And so I went out, bought a mic, and I was like, all right, I have this. Let's do it. So thank you to Mad Chatters for inspiring our podcast journey here today.
Yeah, thanks, Mad Chatters. Immediately after she texts me and goes, okay, we're totally doing this. And I was like, wait, what? Doing what? I was like half asleep. And now we...
Yeah, you had said
Book of the Mouse.
You wanted to do one, and I was like, wait, we both love reading. We love Disney. I feel like, people have touched on books in their general Disney podcasts. This isn't going to be a source for news or rumors or things like that. It's really just 2 book and Disney nerds sharing their love, and we hope that you enjoy it with us.
Yeah, we're hoping for kind of a new platform to explore Disney history in a way that we're not just looking at current things or documentaries or how you find it in theme parks, but that you can find a lot of stuff in books. And being a person who does not live near the parks, that's how I kind of get my daily dose of Disney magic, is reading about Imagineers or making of films, some of my favorite attractions behind the scenes. So books can really fill that void for friends of ours who do not live in Orlando like Courtney does.
Even I, though, I still love to read. I mean, it's just one of my favorite activities. Mm-hmm. I try to make time for it during lunch at work each day when I can, or over by the pool. I just feel like, there's so many Disney books. I think we'll be able to sustain this for quite some time. You have park guides, you have encyclopedias, books about Walt, books just about the parks, books about Disney film. And of course, even there's like a whole realm of Disney fiction, the different Kingdom Keepers series.
Yeah, that'll be new for you and me. We haven't really dived into that, or at least I haven't as a reader. I haven't dived into the Disney fiction.
I read the first Kingdom Keepers when it came out when I was in middle school, and then I think I started working for Disney and realized, because they're still selling them, I was like, oh my gosh, there's 7 or 8 of them now. So we have some catching up to do on that for sure. It'll be fun to see kind of how films and stuff expand beyond their realm into books and those ones that accompany them.
For sure. And I think one set of books that we were excited to explore was to look at the original fairy tales or the original text that Disney drew a lot of its information from a bunch of authors, because a lot of his movies are based off of books or cultural fiction and stories and fairy tales. So that'll be really cool too.
I'm going to go ahead and call it. We are 100% doing a Winnie the Pooh episode for the Christopher Robin film. This is 2018 when we're recording it. It's late May, probably early June when it comes out. But the film is out in August, and I am sure we are going to talk about Winnie the Pooh at that time, because I'm so excited for that movie.
Sure. Me too. Me too. So do you want to talk about the first book that we are going to
we just wanted
dive into?
We're not going to dive into the book today. We're going to give you guys some time to read it too. Kind of just wanted to do this episode as an introduction to who we are, why we love Disney, and give you a little preview of what's to come. So our first book, we're going to start off with Dream It, Do It by Disney legend Marty Sklar. So Emily, why don't you give our listeners a little preview of what this book is about? That way they can find it and read it in the meantime, or follow along with us as we discuss it in a few weeks.
Yeah, great. So we found this description from Amazon. We were going to go with the one on the back of the book, but it kind of reveals a little too much that we're going to discuss in our next episode. So here's a brief little blurb from Amazon. Marty Sklar was hired by the Walt Disney Company after his junior year at UCLA and began his Disney career in Disneyland in July 1955, the month before the park opened. He spent his first decade at Disney as the kid, the youngest of a creative team Walt had assembled at WED Enterprises. But despite his youth, his talents propelled him forward into substantial responsibility. He became Walt's speechwriter, penned Walt and Roy's messages in the company's annual report, composed most of the publicity and marketing materials for Disneyland, conceived presentations for the U.S. government, devised initiatives to obtain sponsors to enable new Disneyland developments, and wrote a 24-minute film expressing Walt's philosophy for the Walt Disney World project and Epcot. He was Walt's literary right-hand man, over the next 40 years, Marty Sklar rose to become president and principal creative executive of Walt Disney Imagineering, and he devoted his entire career to creating, enhancing, and expanding Walt's magical empire. This beautifully written and enlightening book is Marty's own retelling of his epic Disney journey and a grand adventure that lasted over half a century.
I'm so excited for this one. I did read it on my college program, but I'm really excited to revisit it and explore his journey again.
I touched on it a little bit in my college program, but then with the busy hours, I just did not get to finish it. So I did recently restart it, and let me tell you, it is kind of mind-blowing how much that I attribute to Walt, but did not realize how much this man, Marty, had in creating a lot of Walt Disney World that we know today.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I'm excited to dive into this.
Yep, and I think, we're going to try to do this as frequently as I can. With Emily being off this summer as a teacher, it gives us a little more time. We're promising you at least once a month, but hopefully more than that, because there's lots to explore as long as we can fit in that time for reading. So in the meantime, if you want to go ahead and follow us online, we started some social media accounts for this, and we can share our personal. So you can find us both on Instagram and Twitter at Book of the Mouse. And if you want to follow me, Courtney, I'm on Instagram as Great Guthsby, because of course I have a literary reference. And on Twitter, I'm at Courtney_Guth. That's COURTNEY_GUTH. What about you, Emily?
So I am both on Twitter and Instagram under the same handle, Emily_McD. So EMILY_MICKDE. So kind of a play on Mickey Mouse and my last name. So you can find me there, and we're hoping that you guys will catch up with us.
Great. And if you want to contact us with any of your thoughts or suggestions for books, questions, we'd love to engage. And you can contact us at bookofthemouseclub@gmail.com. We are absolutely open to your feedback. We're new to this, and we're excited to have you along for the ride. So why don't you take us out with a little quote from someone that we both like?
So this is a quote that really encompasses what we're trying to do on this podcast. Thank you, Walt Disney, for this inspiration. He says, "There is more treasure in books than all the pirates' loot on Treasure Island. Best of all, you can enjoy these riches every day of your life." I know this is something Courtney and I really channel every day, trying to read every day, finding those things. So we hope you guys will jump along with us.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Book of the Mouse Club has no affiliation with the Walt Disney Company. The views and opinions expressed by hosts and participants are theirs and theirs alone. They do not represent the organizations or companies they happen to work for.